Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be I don't know if it's going to be like a long vlog, but it is going to take me a while of filming, so I decided to just make the intro now just to like remind myself to film. And it is because today is the start of revision. In December, the 26th of December, I still remember, I finished the first book of my Dystopian Trilogy, so that first draft has been done for almost exactly 2 months today. Today's the 26th of February, so it's been done for exactly 2 months. So now that I let it sit, I feel pretty comfortable going back to it and like reading through and making notes. And I understand that the revision process takes quite a long time. However, in this vlog, I think the only thing I will do is just read through it, make notes, put scenes onto scene cards, like how they happen in the book, plus scenes I'm missing, and maybe start implementing like a few changes, or even start the redraft. That's the plan for this vlog, but I just wanted to quickly say hello. This is what we're doing. I'm not sure if I'll actually get any revision done today, but if I do, I'll vlog. And I also have a couple of books to read today as well as part of a reading vlog I'm doing, so my time is a little bit occupied today. That's all I'm going to say for now. Hopefully the next time you see me, I should be starting revisions. I had to come in and quickly say that I might be doing revisions today, and I originally planned to like not start today because I'm doing a reading vlog currently. However, I spent some time working on my bullet journal today, and I got really excited by the idea of rereading because of one thing, and it is this spread. Just the thought of using my bullet journal for revision notes got me super excited, so I went on my iPad and I located the PDF that I sent to myself when I finished the story, because if I read through Google Docs I'd want to make changes straight away. Right now I am doing my reading vlog where I read AutoTube books, so I'm currently reading Pistol Daisy. However, I will be doing some revision today. And though I didn't plan to do revisions for the trilogy until I was done with all the books, I kind of changed my mind because the second book is currently at 30,000 words. And this seems like pretty good since the first draft was 52,000 words, so with 30,000 words in the second book, it seems pretty good. So does that mean I'm close? Actually, no. I'm 30k in and I'm just about to reach the second act. That means that Act 2 is a massive part of the book. I already know that. It's got so much stuff. It's got the fun and games part, which is super massive. And it just has so much substance that I want to put in for this book. So I'm guessing this book will be pretty long compared to the first book. So I think the first book needs to be redrafted to add in the bits that I missed, because I definitely did miss things. The fun and games bit was really short, which shouldn't be. But anyway, that was a bit of a rant. I just wanted to say that I probably will be revising today, so hopefully you see me later on. But yeah, I'm gonna go read now, and I'll see you all in a bit, hopefully. I entirely forgot that this vlog was a thing until I was going through footage and videos to delete off my phone and realized I started a vlog. I'm here to continue. I'm sitting on my writing corner ready to write. Actually, I'm wearing my blue light blocking glasses, which I have gotten yesterday. I have no sense of time anymore. Got these glasses yesterday and I'm absolutely in love with them. I can already tell that they're making my life so much easier because eye fatigue is a real problem with me. I spend all day looking at a screen, whether that be because I'm writing, whether I'm editing a video, or whether I'm just watching AutoTube. I didn't do much progress, so it's not like you missed too much of what I did. I did make myself a year plan for projects, which is right there on my corkboard. I will give you like a brief look, and then I've got another color-coded one, which is to basically remind me of which project is the most worked on and which project is the least worked on throughout the year, so that if I'm planning a year project or year plan for projects for 2022, then I know that one project got a lot of attention this year one project didn't get as much attention this year, so I know which ways to switch it up, which projects to get more attention, which should get less. I have a deadline to finish my reread, my revision, my notes before May. So during May / before May, I want to be done with revisions. And so that means I have to really start cracking on, since it's currently March and it's Camp Nano in April. So I will be quite busy throughout April. Therefore, I want to get on to revisions. And so I sat today with the intention to write and revise. So I'm sitting here preparing myself, wearing my blue light blocking glasses. I feel like I'm going to talk about these a lot now just because they're my new everything favorite, and I would be wearing them right now, except it's every light you can see reflected through, and I feel like that's really distracting. In case anybody's wondering how I'm revising, how I'm reading through, how I'm making notes, I am using my bullet journal for it, and I have a PDF on my laptop. So if I get that PDF now to show you, so my PDF is right there. I do it this way because if I can edit my document, I will edit it, and I'll continue editing it, and I'll continue editing it, and I'll get nowhere with the actual big picture problems. And then I use my bullet journal in a specific spread called Read Through Notes, and I just make notes on chapters as I go through them. If I find a problem, then I write it down, and then I'm planning on going through problems once I've read the entire thing, because then I'll know big picture things to include. And to make my life easier, I'm also writing down what happens in each chapter as I go through it. Chapter 1 and 2 were originally one whole chapter, and I split them up. So that's making my life a lot easier as well. I was mentioning how I didn't actually do that much since announcing I was going to do it, and I've only gone through 7 chapters, though my notes have 9 chapters outlined because one chapter needed to be split in half and another chapter needed to be included because a big part of the plot was missing. Therefore, I'm sitting here at page 60, I believe. Page 60, and I have 140 pages in total to go through. So I'm almost halfway through reading the book, and I'm only on chapter 7, and there's 17 chapters in this, but I have a feeling once I'm done going through the different chapters, I might have like 24. So I think I'm going to read through chapter 7, make my notes, outline the new scenes that I have not yet outlined, and then I will come back to you and talk a little bit more about my read through. I just showed you might have seen how yesterday I was in a live stream and I was doing some revision for that, or I had the intention of doing revision for that and I had my document up and everything, but I ended up doing writing instead. However, today I decided that I would push writing aside for a little bit, make that something I do a little bit later, so that I can focus on revision. I mentioned how when I'm done with reading the chapter, I'll come back and talk about it a little bit. I'm here to just say that chapter 7 has presented a new chapter to me. As in, I mentioned how I was on chapter 7, but I outlined 9, or I have 9 currently for my new redraft that I'm going to do. I finished chapter 7, and as in reading chapter 7, and now I have 10 chapters and I haven't even started chapter 8 yet. So that was an extra chapter added on, mostly because I tried to fit too much into a chapter and I glossed over some pretty big things. Also, there was a character relationship that I completely forgot to develop in this book. It just sort of happens out of nowhere, the relationship, the process of the relationship, and I realized this cannot do. I made myself a note early in the draft when I was still writing that this relationship needs to be fixed. So I managed to pick that up without looking at that note. So that's obviously a sign that that relationship needs to be fixed. And also last night I actually came across a doc that I made of like a few things I could remember to fix when I finished writing the book. I've got like a couple notes there. I now prepare myself to go downstairs and do some revision. Of course, have my blue light blocking glasses for when this is ready to start. And I was actually going to do some bullet journaling today, and that's what inspired me to sit down and do some revision instead. I'm going to move downstairs and then I'll get started. I'm now back in my room and I managed to get some good revision done. I also managed to post a picture on Instagram, which I haven't done in quite a while, and update my story, which I have not done for quite a while either. If you're interested in seeing what I posted, it's down below. I am now back here and I left my tripod downstairs, so I'm gonna have to go get that. And I'm probably going to do more revising because I'm approaching a really fun bit. Essentially, the main male lead is a poet. In every book, I want there to be like a pretty long poem from him. I want every book in the trilogy to have some sort of poem from him. Book 1 has a couple, book 2 has one, as far as I know, because I've written it already. And then book 3, it will be a little bit hard to fit a poem in because book 3 is going to be crazy from what I already know. However, I'll still find a way to make this main character put in a poem. I'm approaching the poem, the first poem that he says of the book, and it's one of my favorites. And I love this poem, not because it's like a particularly well written, but it's because what it's about. This character gets inspiration from everywhere, and it shows from this poem. I've never edited a poem, so I don't quite know how to do that. I might have to like watch a bunch of videos about poems and poetry because I have like loose knowledge. Anyway, I'm going to go fetch my tripod before I move around too much. I have returned. I am now planning on continuing reading through chapter 8 because I haven't finished that yet, and then I'm hoping to just read up to the poem chapter on chapter 10. So it's just a few chapters and there's actually 2 poems. On chapter 10, the first one is like a proper one he tried to write, and then the second one, the male lead decided he'd take inspiration from somewhere else. So he did. I think I'm going to do some revising on my bed because I have not done that yet. Every time I've been revising, it's been at a desk, and I tried to revise on my bed during the live stream. That did not plan out well, so I'm hoping this time it will, and if not, I'll move to my writing corner. But anyway, I'm ready to get some more revising done, so that's what I'll do, and I'll come back when I have something interesting to say. don't know whether my camera picked it up well or not, but the weather outside is absolutely atrocious. It is like hail one minute, then like snow the next, which is really odd because it's almost April. It's either rain, hail, or snow at this point. Like, it just doesn't want to make its mind up. So we've got just bad weather. I thought I'm going to take this as an opportunity to write, because when the weather's bad, I like to write. Specifically, I want to revise, because I actually did manage to finish chapter 10 yesterday like I wanted to. Didn't manage to get on to 12 like I wanted as well, but 11 is fine. And 10 was actually a pretty alright chapter in terms of the fact like it had less things I needed to fix, which is nice. It's nice to see, but that's like the first chapter that had less than 7 points that I need to go through and fix, or just like continuity errors that I knew were there. So stuff needs to be fixed. Moved locations because I was at my window and my neighbours thought it'd be great to stare. I'm very awkward with like human interactions and like social things, so that was just wasn't the best time. Plan today is to revise at least 2 chapters, because I just want to be at a stage where I think I'm good enough to start writing again, because I've sort of been pushing writing to the side. I'm either revising or I'm procrastinating, and as someone who sets a bunch of goals, this isn't not something I should be doing, but I'm doing it anyway. I also want to start brainstorming this other idea I have, because no matter what I do, it just lingers in my head. So I'm going to explore it. There's already a character that has a pretty unique name, and I love this character so much. So I want to really explore that for a little bit, but of course I'm not going to prioritize a project that I'm working on when I've got other existing projects that just keep piling up. So I'm going to be revising. And of course, can't forget my blue light blocking glasses. They have to be with me everywhere I go, because self-care, just self-care. You need to look after yourself. I'm going to get revising now. It is like nearly 3 o'clock and I haven't done anything yet, mostly because I was babysitting and I had like the mother of all headaches. It was absolutely horrific, but now I feel a lot better, so I'm going to start revising and hopefully come back and actually get some progress done, and good progress done in that, not just like looking at my document and then calling it a day like I normally do. Anyway, revising time. So I'm currently sitting at my bookshelf, something I haven't really done before, but I thought it'd be pretty fun for the change of atmosphere. So I'm sitting here and I'm coming with an update to tell you all that today I didn't really manage to get much revision, even though my plan was to get 2 chapters revised. I ended up doing some remodeling for my room, hence why I'm able to sit in front of my bookshelf right now. And I painted my walls, and that was a very time-consuming task, and now I am super exhausted from doing that, so the chances of me revising are pretty slim. However, I did manage to do some bullet journaling, which is pretty cool. I will soon be getting a new desk, so I'm super excited for that. I just came to update you guys and let you know that today not much revision was made, not much progress towards this story was made. However, that will probably be a thing for tomorrow, since I'm pretty much free tomorrow. There's nothing happening tomorrow. Welcome back. So it is actually Monday today. So I didn't film anything on Sunday, mostly because I didn't do much on Sunday. Sunday was just kind of like a chilling, just vibe day. So today is the day that I really crack down on this revision, because my plan is to have this revision done by Tuesday, so tomorrow. And I'm currently on chapter 11 and there's 17 chapters written, and there is quite a bit of re-outlining I have to do, but I think I'm just going to read through, make notes, and then re-outline when I'm done, just because, I don't know, it's like I'm getting into the chapters where more re-outlining needs to be done, because I'm approaching the fun and games bit, and that is pretty small for what it is. But today I just want to do as much revision for this as I can. Here's to revising as much as I can. I'll see you all in a bit. Sorry about that soft humming sound you can hear in the background. I'm watching TV and I have a very old setup, so it hums. I'm here to say that I'm now on chapter 12 in rereads and chapter 17 of re-outlining. So as you can tell, there have been quite a few new additions in terms of chapters. The changes I'm making are pretty good and like they really add to the story, so I think it's good. And there's also a new, like completely new thing that I knew I was going to do from the moment I ended the draft, but didn't think about it too much until now. And it's basically like journal entries, because we're actually approaching the scene where they find this journal that the reader has been reading from this entire time. And it's basically like a journal from the past. It's explaining things as they happen. Like at the very beginning, before we get to this current moment in time in the future where this life is sort of normal, it was first being described by someone who was seeing everything unfold. And they're just about to find the journal now in chapter 12 or chapter 17. The only thing I didn't think about was that there has to be like 17 journal entries, and I somehow have to present the information that this journal was written years ago and we're in a different year now, because in the journal it was written in 2020, so quite a while back from 2063, which is when this book is set. And I don't know how to like fully make that a thing at the beginning without info dumping. So that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. Perhaps make the journal happen at the end of the chapter, but that's, I don't know. I'm going to read chapter 12 and re-outline. We are getting to the fun and games bit, which is really exciting. Anyway, without talking anymore, I am going to read, bringing you over here because the light was really bad over there because my bed is right next to the window. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with lighting, but here we are. I wanted to come back and quickly say that I was looking about for like printing websites where I can print my story out as one of those like notebook kind of things that you see people doing. I was looking a little bit into that, trying to see how I can do it, because I don't live in the US, so I don't have Office Depot, so I can't do it the way they done it. But I figured out a way to do it. I know the website I can use to print out my book like that, and I was like checking the page count with the only completed manuscript I've got at the moment, which is the first book, the one I'm revising. It was quite cheap, to my surprise. I thought it was going to be like a lot more expensive, but it's not. Maybe it's because I have a low page count. Anyway, why am I saying this? Because I really want to print. I really want to write this draft, the second draft, so I can print it out. I just came to talk about printing out because I really want to print out, but obviously I'm nowhere near. I'm still revising the first draft, which reminds me, I gotta revise the first draft. Once again, sorry for like the soft humming sound. I'm watching TV at the moment and actually not getting that distracted, which is pretty sweet. I'm going to go do some revision because now I am super motivated knowing that I know how to print out my book like the spiral bound notebook that I really want it to be. So yeah, I gotta go do some work. Let's go. Let's go do some revision. Oh geez, that glare is not the best. Sorry for this awkward angle. My tripod is upstairs currently because I did not expect to be filming right now, but it is 1:45 in the morning, so I'm a little bit late. Just a little bit late. I finished reading through. I have all my notes. The remaining chapters didn't have much notes to go on because they were severely underwritten, so the majority of my notes is basically just expand this, make this better. So I didn't think I needed to repeat myself too many times. I actually stopped doing the scenes as I went. So I'm currently on chapter 20, but I didn't do the scenes as they were coming, and I realized this book, I said it was going to be like 24 chapters. It's probably going to be something like 28, maybe 30. I don't know. I know it's going to be more than 24, and I don't think it's going to be any more than 30. So that's something interesting. From 17 to like late 20s. That's pretty cool. I stopped doing notes as I went because I realized the chapter that I was reading at, that I stopped making notes, it required a ton of expanding because it was severely underwritten, and I noted that as I was writing. So when I come to make these notes, I can use my notes from my bullet journal and also just from what I've written already. I will have to go back to the document to re-outline. However, I have the first 19 chapters outlined, so I can start the redraft, and I probably will. Learning from my past mistakes, I do want to re-outline as soon as possible. So maybe I'll start the draft for this vlog, but I won't officially start it until like after Camp NaNoWriMo, because this draft is going to be a lot of work. I think I'm going to open up the doc and start the process of draft 2, at least on this vlog. Maybe I'll do like a vlog where I fully start redrafting, using my new notes, using my notes from my bullet journal, using notes from everywhere. It's crazy. I will talk about them a little bit more tomorrow when I have my thoughts gathered, because I finished reading through. Not entirely done revising because I haven't like re-outlined, but I'm going to call it here because the rest is basically just going to be outlining plus at like using a little bit of scenes already written. But I did find big picture things that need to be fixed. I did see tons of typos as well, like that one instance where I used the word morning, like morning, the time of day, instead of the word nothing. How do you make that mistake? I have no idea, but I made it. It took me like a good 10 seconds to realize what I was actually trying to say. And it took all my might not to write that down in my bullet journal as a problem, because I'm not looking for typos, I'm not looking for best word choice, I just looked for big picture stuff and I found it. Tomorrow I'm going to try and get my thoughts together about this, about what I've learned, about what I have to do, about my redraft. But right now, since it's like super late and I just finished reading, so my thoughts are all jumbled, I'm just going to open up the doc and get draft 2 ready to be written in May, probably, because April is going to be a crazy month. It's done. The doc is done. I decided to lay out the chapter headings a little bit differently this time, using chess pieces. Of course, I don't know what that chess piece is. I'm pretty sure it's a pawn, because pawns are a pretty big thing in the book, because my characters are kind of like pawns in a really big game that the world is playing, if that makes sense. I thought it would be fun. It might not stay, but for now, looks pretty cool. And before that, I have to write a journal entry as part of my redrafting, but the journals need to be written separately so I know exactly the order they go in. Needless to say, the draft 2 doc is officially here and I'm super excited to work on it. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Okay, so it is now the next day. I have all my thoughts together and I feel comfortable enough to talk a little bit more about my reread. First thing that I want to talk about, the thing that I noticed the most, was it was severely underwritten and description of every kind was really lacking in this book. Every single description was just not developed, and I know I'm not the best with description. I like to just do big action scenes and just sort of describe what's going on instead of describing details, which worked occasionally in some parts of this, but then the entire part was just kind of like that, and some of the more quieter, calmer scenes also suffered this fate. So that's one thing I know. I underwrote this so badly. Another thing that I really talked about and I've started kind of fixing by re-outlining scenes where I can show this, and that is the character relationships, the dynamics in this book were not explained very well. One minute they had no idea who the other was, the next minute they were just friends, I think. They just knew each other, and the next they were willing to do a lot of things for each other. And it just kind of seemed like it happened from nowhere. It kind of seems like you blinked and you missed the whole book. So that's something that needs to be fixed as well, and there needs to be more explanations put in place, and there needs to be a better build-up. I have a really big problem with telling rather than showing. So in a lot of these scenes I sort of tell the reader what's going on instead of trying to explain the situation, and this all links back to not describing enough, to underwriting it, to just doing my best to get the action, the big things out, and then sort of leaving all the little things, the things that really make the story what it is, for later. So that's something I'm going to have to fix. I didn't really put it for individual chapters, it was more so like a whole thing because it happened throughout. But in one chapter the show was just not present at all, and the tell was really prominent. That in the bottom of my notes for chapter 7 right here I wrote show not tell, because this chapter 7 was so bad when it came to telling rather than showing. So that's another thing I noticed from reading through. So that's like the main gist of my rereading notes. There are specific things to each specific chapter, but obviously that's like spoilery. There's a couple of things I have to fix per chapter, but thankfully I managed to highlight these, and once again I'm trying to ignore like grammar stuff and things like that because it's not relevant to this point of the revision. I'm going to probably start redrafting in May. But I'm glad that I have all my revision notes. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I apologize if this vlog is a little bit long. I did check and I have tons and tons of footage. So I apologize if it's like too long, but I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know what stage your book is at. Are you revising as well? Are you on your second draft? Or are you still plotting, since it is Camp NaNoWriMo? I think this video comes out a day before Camp NaNoWriMo, so let me know what you're doing for that. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one, and bye!